everyone, I am Dr. Samaria M. Colbert. Welcome back. I'm the founder of Kingdom Creative Counseling. I am a licensed therapist, I'm a published author, and I use faith-based principles to bring about lasting change. I'm also a private practice owner. Today, we are going to talk about the naysayer. The naysayer. It's going to be good. As always, I am someone who likes to talk about things that maybe things I've gone through, but also things that I counsel people over and then give you some perspective. Because even though you got some haters and even though you got some critics, if you have a right perspective, I'm telling you, they won't win and they won't, their agenda against you will not prevail. Okay, so the title is again, Naysayers, how to deal with critics, opposers, and unbelievers. Are y'all ready? I am ready. Let's get going now. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. The next one I'm going to be doing a teaching called self-sabotage. It's just going to keep going and going and going and going. I will not stop. Thank y'all for the wonderful comments, those who have written comments under the description box. It's the same video, y'all. Y'all just love that one video, but hey, if you like it, I love it. All right. So let me tell you how I started wanting to talk about this. I was actually in a session with a young lady, and obviously everything that we talk about is confidential and HIPAA and compliant, all that kind of stuff. But well, she basically was discouraged because she has this goal that she wants to work towards, and there's this particular individual who keeps reminding her that she cannot do it, or say, you can't do this, you can't do this, and it makes her angry. And so it reminded me of my own experience, which I did share with her. Therapists, we tend to be a little iffy about the self-disclosure, but I did just kind of disclose to her my story a little bit. And I want to start off our talk today by discussing that. I want to say something, that you always have people who don't believe in you. It's just a part of life. They don't believe in you and they feel the need to express it. So I've been in mental health for a long time. Long time. Longer time than I ever thought. And so what happened was, many years ago, over 20 years ago, it feels weird saying that, but it was that long ago. I was more than like, I think I was in my maybe senior year of college. And I was in the process of applying for graduate school. For those who are not aware, when you apply for graduate school, there's all this paperwork that you have to fill out, but you also have to get letters of recommendation from your professors. Okay, now I was like an A/B student. I wasn't the worst student, I wasn't the best student, but I was on my way out the door. Okay, and your senior year, you have to do you're in the human services field, you have to do an internship. Okay, this is my bachelor's program. And I did an internship, and towards the end of the internship, not the advisor, what they call it, the supervisor, the clinical supervisor over that internship, I still remember her name, I ain't gonna say it though. Anyway, let me not. She sits down with me and she says that she thinks that I am not cut out for the human services field. Why? I didn't say why, but she, volunteered her opinion that was not asked for, by the way. She said I was not cut out for the human services field because I was too quiet. I was too quiet, and my personality was not a good fit to work with people. Okay. And that devastated me, because I it's just, then I didn't have as much confidence as I have right now. Because I don't care who you are. You told me that now, I'd have gave you a nice little talk back, okay? But I was like, huh? I was too quiet. Now I was a bad student. Not that I didn't do well with the clients that I was working with at the time. My personality. So backstory. So I go to my the supervisor in my actual program. Okay, she is not only a professor, but she's over the internship program. Okay, so she is the one who assigns us this internship. And I really went to her because I was applying for graduate school. I sat in one of her classes and I wanted to see if she could write me a letter of recommendation. And I kind of wanted to tell her about this experience where there's someone that's telling me that I am not cut out to be in the field. So before I even ask her, true story, before I even asked her, I sat down with her before I even asked her for the letter of recommendation. She doesn't know what my other, the supervisor of my internship told me. She voluntarily, come on now, tells me that she doesn't think I am cut out for the human services field because I am much too quiet and my personality was not a good fit. I'm like trying to tear it now. My personality was not a good fit because I was much too quiet and I needed to consider a different career path. I was in my senior year applying for graduate school. I had another answer I had from a different professor. I had really good relations with my professors, by the way. It's just that you just don't know. I'm doing academically well. You don't really know how people perceive you. I was never a bad student. I was actually insightful. I was always really smart. So anyway, I say all that to say, I was devastated. I remember not that particular instance. I went home and I cried and I prayed. I was devastated. By the way, it didn't stop me. I ended up going to graduate school. I got accepted to Howard University. Shout out to Howard. I graduated. I had been in the field ever since. When I say in the field, I mean I was still working in human service field. I worked in inpatient hospitals. I worked outpatient. I own my own private practice now. I've worked in community mental health agencies. I worked in the rural areas. I did community work. I mean, you name it. I've done case. I've done it all. And guess what? The number one compliment that I have always gotten with my clients was they appreciate how calm and listening that I am and how I hear them. I've always gotten compliments from my clients about my personality. The same personality that they told me 20 years ago I was not fit to be in the field. Just because someone is quiet does not mean they're not capable. Now that I do therapy, my personality, I've had so many clients say, thank you so much. Your personality is so calming. You listen to me. And one of the things I've learned is that most people, before they want your advice, before they want information, they just want to be heard. And I listen. And sometimes I can say things to my client that maybe another therapist wouldn't say because I've listened. I've heard their perspective, and I say, have you thought about it from this perspective? I can actually even confront the client in a therapeutic way and give them a perspective, like maybe some of the choices, because it comes from a caring place, the same exact personality type. Now I've gotten grown up, I've gotten a lot more confident, but the core of me, the introvert, the person that loves to read and study and just digest information, the core of me is the same. I just have grown in an even much more confident person than I was that time, because if someone ever said that to me now, I give you the whole business, okay? The whole business. Now that they said that to me because they thought they could. They thought they could. But I am so grateful that I had a word from God. I went home and I prayed, and God told me he would make me successful. And their opinion of me did not matter. So I'm not here to give you doom and gloom and get the umbrella, wah, 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 oh, poor thing. I want to encourage you because, again, I have to say this again. You will always have people who will not believe in you and feel the need to express it. Now, if you don't believe I can do something, if you don't believe I have the capability to do something, that is your business. It is very rude to express that to somebody. I wouldn't think really. I always think if you got to leave your mind and do it, you can do it. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to be realistic. Like, if you're 40, you may not necessarily have a career in the NFL. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's stuff like, but that may be a little different. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, hey, if you like it, I love it. But I'm just saying, that's when you may be like, you may not necessarily be able to play football. Maybe you can. Hey, I don't know. The stranger things have happened, but maybe you can still have a career in the NFL. There was a great example of this guy, and I can't remember where I found it from, but he was a photographer. He always said, I'm going to be in the NFL, but I'm going to be in the NFL, but he loved photography. He ended up being a photographer for the NFL. You see what I'm saying? So I say all that to say, that you will have to deal with naysayers. This is a part of the process, particularly not if you just have a career, right? You just have a career and you just want to make money and it's not really a passion. You could take it or leave it. You know what I mean? You can take it or leave it. But when it's something that God has called you to, you are anointed for. I'm not just a therapist. I'm anointed for this. For me, therapy and doing counseling is a ministry. Even though I'm not technically a traditional minister, it is ministry. And I'm so grateful that I didn't allow those naysayers to come and distract me from what God had called me to. I'm so glad I had a relationship with God, because someone's in a position of authority, and we'll talk about that in a minute, and they start telling you things about yourself, and they didn't even know me like that. They knew me from they knew my name. They knew I was a student, but we didn't have personal conversations. They didn't know that I had heard from God concerning me. They didn't know I had gone to Zimbabwe and had a experience with God where God told me, but I knew that this is what God. They didn't know any of that. All they knew is there was this quiet little girl who was an AB student who was just quiet and listening. And by the way, I've never really had a huge issue with my clients. And right now, I can tell you some story about being in human services field. You be like, girl, guess what? Majority of the time, I always have favor with people that maybe the world and the church would probably throw away. And they just love me. So again, you always have naysayers. So the thing is, what do you do? What do you do? All right, let's define naysayers. Naysayers, y'all know what it is, but for the sake of our discussion today, a naysayer is someone who criticizes, objects, and opposes you. They criticize, they object, and they oppose you. Now, I'm not against positive critique. Okay, if it's a teachable thing, not just if I'm trying to do something, launch a business, do something, and you have been there, done that, and you are critiquing it. Hey, Samaria, can you do it this way versus that way? That's a different, because you're trying to teach me something that I don't know. That's a different story. But a naysayer is someone who just thinks what you can't do. Not that they can do it better or they've been there, and so here's the key to do it in a more excellent way. That's one thing. But I'm talking about a naysayer who you just can't do it. A critic is someone who expresses it. Remember, these are people who they think it, but they feel the need to express it. All right? They express an unfavorable opinion. See the word unfavorable. I just came back from church and our pastor was talking about the favor of God. But a critic is someone who is unfavorable. They will talk you out of what God has called you to. And then there's an unbeliever. That is someone who is driven by fear or they don't have faith. See, faith is the evidence of things hoped for. Hold on, y'all. Faith, you don't see it. You don't see it, but you know it's going to be yours. You see it before you see it. You understand what I'm saying? But they don't have faith. And so because they don't have faith and they're driven by fear, they can't see it. They can't see it in you. They can't see it for you. Okay, so they don't believe in your dream and they feel as though you shouldn't believe in your dream either. All right, so just like you have a dream or vision or a purpose, you will have naysayers. So for our discussion today, we're going to talk about Nehemiah. Now, I'm not going to read the book of Nehemiah. We're going to talk about the life of Nehemiah because he is the example I'm sorry, my lighting is getting weird, but we have an example of someone who had some naysayers. And if we can follow his life, we can get some nuggets of wisdom from his life. But like I said, I don't have my Bible open today. I do have my phone with my Bible app on it, just in case I want to get some word here. But I would encourage you just to read the life of Nehemiah on your own to get more perspective. But Nehemiah gives us a classic case example of how to deal with naysayers. So Nehemiah was in the Bible. He was a assistant to the king, and he realized that the people of Israel were suffering, and there was something going on with the wall of Jerusalem. So Nehemiah had unction by the Holy Spirit of God that he was to build or rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. Okay, so remember, he is building something. I want you to take it from the perspective of, so Nehemiah was building something, and then you are now building something. What are you building? You may be building a vision, a dream, a purpose, something God has put in your heart, a ministry, a business, an entrepreneurship, a hair care product, a t-shirt line. But whatever it is, you are building something, okay? Just as Nehemiah was, because we'll put ourselves in the text, okay? We're going to apply the text to our lives, okay? So Nehemiah says he's going to build something, all right? So he gets permission from the king, and he is off to get ready to rebuild the wall, right? Got the vision, got the plan, got the path, got the permission. He goes on leave of absence. All right, we ready to go. However, Nehemiah comes across some naysayers, some opposers, and some unbelievers. These are the type of people that will be your naysayers today, because remember, people die, but spirits tend to live on. So you have these people called Sanballat, Tobiah, and Gesem. Okay, these are the naysayers that are coming against Nehemiah. They oppose Nehemiah building the wall, even laying in their business. Again, you will experience these type of people in your life as you're trying to build something. Okay, so you look at Nehemiah 2 verse 19. It says that Nehemiah's naysayers, Sanballat, Tobiah, and Gesem, they scoffed, as New Living Translation says, they scoffed and were contemptuous. What does that mean? Scoff means to express. Remember, they can't just mind their business. They need to express disbelief. Remember that word? They say disbelief, and speak in a negative or derogatory way about your vision. Are you seeing how this is related to our lives? And then when they're contemptuous, they are feeling or expression. Watch this. Another further, they're expressing a deep hatred. So, and disapproval. Now, mind you, watch this. This ain't gonna do with them. Nehemiah didn't ask their permission. Nehemiah didn't go seek their opinion. He didn't sit down and have a conference or a counseling session to them about his dream. All right? So they are stuck. And secretly, these are the people that they're stuck in your life. They're stuck in their own lives, individual lives, and they secretly despise the fact that you are moving forward. So they stuck, and they think you should be stuck with them. And again, I gotta say this for good measure. I'm gonna repeat myself throughout the message, so just bear with me and take it just take it, okay? Everybody's not going to support your dream, and you have a choice. Do you want to be stuck with them, or are you going to keep moving forward? Now, I don't know about you, but when my professor, I still remember her name. My heart wants to speak it. So she probably retired. She passed away by then. I don't know. That's not being mean, but it was a long time ago. You know what I mean? So, but when that happened to me, I had a choice. That's not the only thing that ever happened to me. That's the only time people told me what I couldn't do, what I couldn't achieve, all that kind of stuff. But you know what I'm saying? I had a choice. Guess what? I went home, I cried, I heard from God about it, and I still applied for Howard University. Come on now. Everyone is not going to support your dream. They're just not. It can hurt, but you got to determine your heart. You got to go back and forth about, you better not ever tell me. I don't know who you think you are. And blah. You ain't got to do all that. Thank you. All right. That's your opinion. And keep it moving. They are stuck. But ask yourself, am I going to be stuck with them? Mm-mm. The next thing that Sanballat, Tobiah, and Gesem, okay, these are our naysayers of life. Obviously different people, same spirit. They come with all false accusations, lies, and rumors. I know people like that. But guess what? They still ain't winning. You know why? Because I kept moving forward. I hope you do too. That may be a flex. But my braggadocious is they try to stop Samaria, but she kept moving forward. That's a flex. Watch this. So the naysayers implied that Nehemiah did something unethical or illegal. They were subconsciously listen. But so the basic law is the reason why I was an accusation liar and the falsehood gossiper, because Nehemiah had gotten permission from the king. Okay, he had the full favor of the king and the king's wife. And before he took a leave of absence to build the wall, he made sure all his ducks were in order. His naysayers come along and they're trying to accuse him of going behind the king's back and doing something unethical or tricking the king. Basically, it was a lie then. And when you have naysayers like that, because they will happen, they try to come up with lies. You did such X, Y, and Z. It was a lie then. It's a lie now. Keep moving, right? So these are people, your naysayers. They secretly or subconsciously are despising your beginnings. These are the people like, When I first started my practice, you still that little business? Okay. Everything little behind it. Oh, you still wrote that little book? You still doing that little thing? That little subtle, that subtle shade that you know people do that. It's that kind of that slow dig. And you're like, well, she's trying to, he or she trying to come for me? You ever think like they give you a compliment, but it's kind of like an offhanded compliment? You're like, okay, I guess. They secretly are despising that you are moving forward, that you're beginning in a place they're stuck. All right, let's do. Okay, so we are continue our journey here, right? So it says in Nehemiah 4. So when I read this from New Living Translation, y'all, my favorite translation. Okay, so Sanballat becomes angry when he learns that Nehemiah was building the wall. There's one translation that reads, he was full of rage. These are people that are angry at you. They don't see you succeeding, or they see you succeeding, and it angers them that you keep. We're gonna say that word multiple times before we finish today. There's these three words. You keep moving forward despite their expressed approval. So they really want to do is talk so bad that you say, so they get in your head and you say, forget it. Whatever. Forget it. Okay. So Tobiah says, so then this is now we go to Nehemiah 4 verse 3. Tobiah, which is another hater, right? They come in packs, by the way. So if you got more than one, just the Bible is the Bible. Okay, it's fine. Doesn't mean something abnormal is happening. It just means that they come in packs. Just like I had the professor, my intern supervisor, and then I had another professor who was off too. He showed up at my graduation though. He was like, "Oh my God, she graduated." Sure did. Anyway, let me stop. But anyway, so Nehemiah 4 verse 3, Tobias says he basically is now. He says that he's taunting them now. He says that wall is gonna collapse, and it's gonna collapse if a fox walks on it. It's gonna collapse. So what he's implying is that the wall is not going to be sturdy, or they don't have enough ingenuity or manpower, or there's something they can't do to rebuild the wall to be sturdy. He's saying it's not even going to be that. So he's trying to minimize. This is what naysayers do. People will keep telling you it won't work. Okay, they will keep it, and they're trying to discourage your efforts. They want to get in your head. See, they can't stop you. They really can't stop you. They want to get in your head long enough so that you stop the work yourself. Okay, but again, we're gonna go back to what we kept saying, y'all. What did now we have a recurring theme here. What did Nehemiah? You could take a guess, right, of how we should respond. What did Nehemiah do? He kept moving forward. he kept moving forward. Come on, Nehemiah. You did that. So watch this. So now we keep going on. But so Nehemiah 4 verse 4, it says Nehemiah prayed. He didn't respond. He prayed and then he kept going. Never allow someone to get in your head and cause you to give up. Don't do it. Okay? But the enemy, guess what happened? The enemy was just as persistent as Nehemiah was persistent to not even deal with them or to not allow them to stop. Okay? They persisted. They couldn't mind their business. You gotta watch people. You gotta watch people who make it their business to mind somebody else's business. That's not of God. These are people who are they're secretly entertained by someone else's demise. These are Christians who subscribe to gossip sites. These are your homegirls that guys will call you up and say, "Hey, I heard. Did you hear about such and such?" They are minding someone else's business. They got nothing to do with you. See, people who have a work to do and who have things that they need to accomplish in life, they are minding their own business. All right. Nehemiah chapter 4 verse 7. Now this is what happened with the naysayers. They watching you more than they think they're watching. These are the people that's checking in on you on Facebook or social media, trying to figure out what you're doing. They wait for you to be sad, overwhelmed with depression, and sitting somewhere crying, and then they lurking. Y'all got to lurking when you can see people who are looking at your social media. They'll never comment, but they're looking. Okay, well, they didn't have social media back in Nehemiah's days, but we know the enemy was lurking. Okay, he was a lurker because they kept getting upset. Why are you upset if you're not minding your business? Why are you upset that someone is prospering? You understand what I'm saying? So they became even more furious. Now they got a plan. Okay, they got together. The enemies got together with other enemies. They didn't even like each other, trying to be unified. And then they come together and still start the accusations against Nehemiah. They are gathering forces. How many don't know weapon formed against you shall prosper? Okay, so then Nehemiah still kept going because that's the theme for the day. We still gonna keep going, right? They started plotting up behind the scenes. But Nehemiah again, he said, we prayed, we guarded ourselves, and we guarded our city. And we kept going. You know what you should do? You should just go and keep going. I was like, Samaria, like you just said that 100 times. Well, that's the thing. That's what you got to do. That's it. That's all. So listen. So let me tell you the strategy. You got to pray, because God will strengthen your heart. You know, it's not. You know, so you can get weary if you don't pray now. You ain't got a prayer life. You ain't gonna be able to handle it. If you ain't got God, you know what I'm saying, you may just buckle under the pressure. Once you pray, God will give you more strength. He'll give you more ingenuity. So Nehemiah, he prayed. This is what we should pray. Guard your heart. Okay, it is what it is. Don't be sad and crying somewhere. Sometimes you got to get up and keep moving. There's contracts to be had. There's money to be made. There's people to see. There's stuff to do. We can't be sitting somewhere in a corner crying. That is not going to get you anywhere. Okay, so get up out of there, and we got to keep going. All right. So, and then keep moving forward. So again, they kept trying to discourage and intimidate them. Now, for y'all who don't know, I did do a series of lives on intimidation. And so it is what it is. They're really good. But keep moving forward. Okay. They guarded the city. But watch when the people started getting discouraged, Nehemiah, being a great leader, he was a great leader. He said to the people, don't be afraid. Remember the Lord. So if you got accusers and naysayers who are coming against you, who are threatening you, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, this, that, and the third, they try to intimidate you, which is try to cause you to run away in fear. I'm telling you the same thing Nehemiah told his people. Don't be afraid. Remember what God has said about you. Remember what God has said. Just like Nehemiah said, remember the Lord, remember God. Remember Romans 8:31 says, if God is for you, who can be against you? And when the people of Israel kept moving forward, it frustrated the enemies. Why did it frustrate the enemies, Samaria? You know what we're about to say. It frustrated the enemies because they wouldn't stop. I told the individual the other day, I said, listen, the best revenge is success. I said, when you get it, send them an invite. The best revenge is success. Not going toe to toe, not getting down on and saying, well, if you're ready, you know what I'm saying? I ain't been saying all my life. You know what I'm saying? Not doing that. The best revenge is your success. But again, you go to Nehemiah chapter 6. Guess what? These Bama's were so that's a Maryland word. These folks, excuse me, were so persistent. The enemies were so persistent, excuse me. They kept plotting. They kept going. Verse 9, Nehemiah 6, verse 9, New Living Translation. This is a quote that Nehemiah said. He said, they kept trying to intimidate us. They kept trying to discourage us. They kept trying to get us to stop the work. But we continued with greater determination. Greater determination. Anything you want, you got to fight for. And I'm not talking about fighting people. When I go toe to toe, sometimes despite opposition, even feeling like you get ready to cry, your guts get ready to come out, and you just having the hardest time, you got to be determined. I'm moving forward. I'm moving forward. Nehemiah said they kept trying to make me sin. They kept trying to agitate him so that he can walk out of his character. He said they kept trying to discredit me. But I kept going. I kept going. We kept going. So you know what you should do, right? Last few things that were done. You will always have those types of people who are driven by their own selfish motives and deceit. Always. Always. Okay? But you got to pray. God, give me strength. The scripture tells God, he'll strengthen your heart. And you got to keep moving forward. Okay? Don't allow discouragement to set in and stop you. Remember, we said in Romans 8:31, when God is for you, they won't be able to stop you. They can't. They can try to block you. They can try to, but they're not going to stop you. If they try to block one person, God will send promotion from another person. God will send people who will favor you. Okay? Listen to this. Man's opinion of you does not represent God's opinion of you. I got to say that again because that's good. Man's opinion of you does not represent God's opinion of you. It doesn't. So God will finish what he started. If God starts it, God, he never guarantees it's going to be easy walk. The road to your purpose or your goal is never a straight line. It's not like I start here and then here I land. You know, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. Okay. In between, you got opposition, you got obstacles, you got things you didn't anticipate, you got haters, people who are secretly jealous of you never thought would be, you got people trying to intimidate you. I mean, that's just, it sounds like something, but it's just a part of life. You know, it's just one of those things. People who are not Christian experience these things. If you ask someone who's really successful, what type of opposition, nobody just wakes up one morning with success at their hands. Oh, praise, oh goodness, look at that success. You know, if you really want it, you're gonna have opposition. That is the part of life. Even with the best business plan, the best marketing strategy, the best degrees, the best friends, you're gonna have this type of opposition. Okay? But again, God will finish what he started in you through you. And finally, Philippians 1:6. Be confident. What do we got to do? Be confident of this very thing. He that hath begun a good work in you will perfect it until the day of Jesus Christ. That means when God starts a good work in you, it's going to keep going and going and going, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. Right? So the New Living Translation says he will perfect it until the day of Jesus Christ. The New Living Translation says until it is finished and Jesus Christ comes. So God is the one who's doing the work in you. I'm so grateful. I give you scenarios and stories from my life because I gotta give you context. You understand? It's more relatable if I tell you something I experienced. But I don't even think about those professors now. I don't think about those teachers now. It literally dawned on me to tell that because I was in session to somebody that I was in session with, just to try to encourage her. But I don't think about them. None of their opinions stopped me. I still graduated with honors. I still got my degree. I still been in the field close to, well, not close. I haven't been in the field close. That was 20 years ago. I've been in the field actually almost like 16 years. I have no alms to them. It was the enemy trying to stop me so that I couldn't talk to you from my experience. I couldn't have my counseling. That's my license right there. I wouldn't be able to have a license. It was the enemy in them trying to stop me. But I kept going. And if I could encourage anybody that watches this teaching, regardless of what you face in life, regardless of the obstacles and the people who come against you or don't believe you, all you have to do is just keep going. All right. I am Dr. Samaria M. Colbert. Thank you again. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You can go to my website at drsamariacolbert.com. You can also visit my counseling website at www.kingdomcreativecounseling.com. Also, my fellow therapists who watch this, I tell you the exact same thing. If you're in school, I have a lot of people hitting me up in school, or people that are in the fields and maybe you're experiencing some discouraging moments. I will tell you the exact same thing. Per usual, I'm going to upload this to my podcast as well. But again, www.kingdomcreativecounseling.com, and my consulting website is www.transformingchristianleaders.com. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. We'll be back another time. We're going to talk about self-sabotage. Stay connected, y'all, because I got some good ones. I got some good ones coming up. Bye.